Do you often rehash how your father broke your toy gun in a fit of rage, or how your parents uprooted you and moved across the country? If you get angry every time you reminisce about your childhood, your life could be permanently on hold. Here are 5 signs you're stuck in the past and how to move into the present. Number 1. Glory days, when everything was better. You may not know Bruce Springsteen's Glory Days song. It's all about people who can only talk about the good old days. Do you find yourself starting sentences with, "when I was young," or "back when," or "I used to"? You're likely living in the past, but you may also be bored and need to take on new activities. Point number 3 in this video will interfere with that, because you actually don't like to do anything new. You've been there, done that, seen it all. Deep down, you know that's not true, and you've got to get on with it. Shock your system into thinking you've come back from the dead and been given another chance. Be like Ebenezer Scrooge, who was visited by 3 ghosts from the afterlife. A visit like this is bound to change the course of your life. Every time you think about the past with sighing nostalgia, put $5 in a pot. Confide in a good friend and have them buy you a course, a workshop, or an activity, something they're pretty sure you'll like. Commit to the new activity. Follow through. Action is the only way you're going to get out of your glory days funk. Number 2, you talk about the past as if it were happening right now. When you talk about long ago, is it where it belongs? In the past? Or do you use verbs in the present tense like, "I go to my friend's house," instead of "I went" or "I used to"? It's difficult to catch yourself saying these things because, like breathing, eating, and sleeping, speaking is a subconscious act. To pull you out of the past, your brain has to believe you don't actually live there anymore. Get used to speaking about the past in the proper tense by joining forces with your partner and friends. Have them point out when your speech is stuck in history mode. This can be an annoying exercise because you don't even realize how often this happens. Have patience. Use the $5 pot again. New habits are formed within 1 to 3 months. So while you can, treat yourself to the proceeds, because soon you'll be using the correct tense and the pot will be empty. Number 3, you're bitter and cynical, but likely don't realize it. Do these sound like your common expressions? That's nothing. My situation is far worse. Those people are idiots. Life is unfair. You criticize the new government. No one can do any good. In your day, things were done differently. You complain, yet you don't run for office to change things or join a volunteer cleanup crew to pick up garbage in the local park. You just complain to complain. Life isn't a contest of maladies. Most of all, it just hurts you when you feel hard done by. No one really wants to be with you. You find every reason to justify why your longtime friend made up an excuse to get off the phone after only 5 minutes in, or why they don't respond to your voicemail at all. Use your anger and criticism on yourself. Would you like you as a friend? Who are the people you truly like? Are they like you, or do they easily accept others and all the faults they come with? Self-criticism and reflection is very difficult to do. It's different from self-deprecation and contempt, looking in the mirror and hating your own image. Positive self-reflection is the ability to step outside of you and look at your own behavior. The concept of cynicism and bitterness is not new. The theory of self-reflection is in fact ancient. More than 3,000 years ago, know thyself, an ancient maxim by the Delphic oracle Pythia, was inscribed in the courtyard of the Temple of Apollo. Be honest to yourself. Think back to when you were in your teens and 20s. Your view of the world was new and open. Open people are receptive to new ideas. Start accepting other views the way your favorite friend does. It will ultimately benefit you. Number 4, you regret much of your life. It gets worse as you get older. If your thoughts often start with could've, would've, should've, you regret many things in your life. You play that movie over and over, thinking if you had just done things another way, your life would look different now. The older you get, the more you feel like you're running out of time. Depending on your age, moving beyond regret takes different strategies. In your 20s and 30s, you can view the regrettable experience as a learning event. What did you discover about yourself? What do you now understand about other people? Let it sink in and move on. In your 50s and 60s, it's more difficult to come to terms with regret. You feel you're running out of time. Remember that even if you could transport yourself back in time, chances are you wouldn't enjoy it there. Everything around you would have moved on, changed from your idyllic memories. Someone once said, nostalgia is like a file that removes rough edges from the good old days. At this stage in life, recognize your value and how much knowledge you can contribute. Your learning curve to a new activity or situation is much shorter than 30 years ago. In the description of this video, you'll find a list of 10 entrepreneurs who didn't get started until they were in their 60s. Make a list of your skills. Lacking computer abilities? Take an online course. Google and YouTube didn't exist in your time. It's way easier to do your research today. Start a blog or a YouTube channel. Get talking to like-minded people. It doesn't have to earn any money. Ask anyone stuck in a lousy job. Money is never a positive motivating factor. Number 5, you're out to get them. You've been wronged so many times, the list is almost endless. Your former boss, your scheming team member, your partner or spouse, but it was mostly your parents who started you on this path of doom. If they hadn't moved, if they had encouraged you to, if they had accepted your decision to, the only way to get beyond this is to realize your parents loved you and wanted the best for you. The move you hated was in their mind a step to a better life. Your dad would make more money and your mom had more opportunities to work part-time. When they didn't accept your choice to become a musician, they were simply worried about your future. Forgiveness is the only way to stop resenting others. When you were so-called victimized by the people in your life, it likely wasn't because they were out to get you. They may not always have had your best in mind. Maybe they were somehow desperate themselves. Perception is in the eye of the beholder. Once you understand where the other was coming from, you can start forgiving them. Let go of this blame, and you're able to move beyond needing to prove yourself or take revenge on your business partner. The friend who borrowed $1,000 likely had a good and embarrassing reason for not paying you back. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Let no man pull you low enough to hate him." Still not convinced to forgive your parents or that lousy friend? Perhaps this Oscar Wilde quote is better suited to you. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped your situation.